Hi, this is Andrea Troutner. Welcome back to the Attuned Tribe. Today we are doing a group Biofield tuning session on the throat chakra. So this is the next step in our chakra series. If this is the first video that you're watching, no problem. Just know that we do have additional videos on our page for other chakras leading up to the throat chakra that we're working on today. So you can go back and check those out. Doesn't matter what order you watch them in, whatever feels right to you, but you can work through them in order if you like. I will say one benefit to that is that I feel like today that some things that we have worked on in the past or have been kind of like leading up to, it's like they have a stacking effect, right? So some things that we're going to be working on today, I feel like things that we've worked on in other chakras have set a foundation, and kind of they're going to lend their support to what we want to try to fully break through with today. Because with the throat chakra, it's all about self-expression and authentic self-expression, and really being able to release the fear of judgment, rejection, even punishment, for speaking our truth. And I feel like in some of the past chakras, we've been building that self-confidence and kind of clearing away some of that static. And that's really going to support you in being able to move these last few pieces out of the way to move towards that really full self-expression. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about the throat chakra and what we're working on here. Specifically with Biofield tuning, it refers to communication, inspiration, and truth. And you're either, it's either the things that we do not say and should say or wanted to say and never said, right? Or we did speak up and it felt like we weren't heard or understood, right? So it could be not speaking up enough or maybe speaking up too much. So we're just going to bring balance to all of that, okay? We want to open space for creative expression, for boundary setting, and truth telling, okay? So I don't know if you've heard, but they recently discovered that authenticity carries the highest frequency of any emotion. A lot of people might think it would be love, but it's actually when we are being truly ourselves, when we are fully expressing without fear, we're standing in our power, we have confidence, we're being authentic. That is what radiates the highest frequency. And that's so important to understand and realize. And it's so important, obviously, to be authentic. When we're not repressing ourselves, we're not coming from a state of fear. That plays into so many aspects of our lives, and one important one being your physical health. Just the amount of tension that you're expressing every day in your life and how that feeds back into your physical health. So it's all connected. So expressing your truth, releasing fear of judgment, we really want to heal any kind of self-silencing that we've been doing, because, regardless if we feel that somebody else shut us down, we are the ones who ultimately chose to stay quiet after those experiences. So we want to be able to heal what happened so we don't feel the need to self-silence. But then also sometimes, anywhere you were sworn to secrecy, okay? Somebody forced you to hold a secret. That can be very uncomfortable and traumatizing. So considering if that comes up for you anywhere. And then also, like I mentioned, it could be that over-talking and anywhere where that you've been shamed for that. Who else talks too much on their school report card? Okay. So we just kind of want to bridge, you think about your throat, it is really kind of a bridge here, right? So for everything that we're thinking and everything that we're feeling, to express it. So it's bridging that inner truth with outer action. It's the way, that we get things out, obviously. Okay, So basically in this session, we are using sound and intention to scan your energy field for areas where this communication and truth and expression, anywhere that may have gotten stuck, okay? And this, like I said, might be something left unsaid or something that was said but never truly heard. And then when we use the tuning forks, we listen for dissonance in the field. They help me find that. And it's like static in a radio station. And we're just literally, we're tuning that dial, right? We're tuning back into harmony, and we're helping the body resolve that signal so it can be nice and clear and bright again. And then that's what gets reflected back into your life, that brightness, that clearness, that clarity, right? So so that's what that looks like. And then what are some signs of, if you say, how do I know for sure? Maybe, I don't, I do okay communicating, I think, but how do I know if I have a blockage in my throat chakra? Well, the physical body is always going to send you signs. It's always going to let you know. So some physical signs and emotional signs that you may have a blockage around your chakra could be sore throat, tight jaw, thyroid issues, neck and shoulder tension. If you have a general fear of public speaking or afraid that you're going to say the wrong thing, if you hold back and bite your tongue, or if you conversely blab a lot and say too much, it's that feeling of, being misunderstood and not heard. And just really anywhere that you have struggles with self-expression or creativity or boundaries, because those boundaries, have to be spoken verbally for people to know what they are. And then I would also encourage you to explore where your singing voice may be shut down as well, okay? Singing is one of those things that's kind of got hijacked, and people think that you have to be, talented or sound really good in order to sing. And in my opinion, that's just not true. It's meant for all of us, right? It was originally, used communally and tribally as, a means of connection and obviously expression. And so look at where your singing voice also may have gotten shut down. And I would encourage you to, if you want to continue to work on opening up this throat chakra, opening up your expression and creativity, to continue to work on singing, privately or in public, whatever feels good to you. And if you would like a recommendation for some wonderful coaches who have some amazing classes who can help, with that, and if you're interested in exploring your singing voice further, comment below and I would be happy to refer you to them. Okay, so I think that's about all we need to know for today. One other thing I wanted to mention, actually, because we are working with the voice and specifically the throat chakra, we are going to be working in those toning sounds that I like to use from our sister program that's called Sing the Body Electric. And so we're really going to tap into using those sounds, using the throat to help move stuck energy and to help balance out that vibration. So just to let you know what they are before we get started, when you think about the energy kind of coming out forward, we use the tone ha. And when we think about the energy kind of going in, we use the tone bo. So those are two phrases and tones that I will mix into our session today. Again, you don't have to sound good. It's not about that. It's actually more about tapping into just letting your voice sound however it wants to and needs to sound in the moment. Okay, so really just allowing yourself to be present with that, getting used to just kind of expressing whatever feels good in the moment. So yeah, we'll get started here. If you want to lay down, close your eyes, get comfy. You do not have to watch the session. It's really not necessary. I just do videos because I like to let people see what it looks like, so they know if they come in for a session what's happening. Just kind of a comfort level thing for you guys and a curiosity thing maybe, but not necessary for you to watch it all. Lay down, close your eyes, and just receive. But also breathe. Your breath is really important. So I like to remind people to have your breath move all the way through your body. You really want to see that exhale kind of going out the bottom of your feet and or your tailbone, whatever you connect with better. And that's just helping that energy move. Okay, we really want to flush things all the way out. And so imagine it going all the way out and use your breath to help move that energy. It's very, very useful. All right, let's get started. You get yourself set up and I'm going to get myself set up too. Here we go. Take a nice deep breath and start to settle in here. Just going to start by grounding in a little bit. Just taking a few deep breaths and really coming into your body right now. Letting go of that mental mind and mental chatter. You've chosen to be here in this moment, so let's really recognize that and own it, okay? This time and space is for your body, right? We're setting this time aside to offer this healing to our body, to our spirit, to our soul, to our whole field. And so just really give your body's wisdom a chance to step forward, okay? The body is so wise. It knows how to heal itself. It knows what to do, but we get in the way. Okay, so take this time to get out of the way so that we can support the body and let it do what it wants to do and what it's meant to do, okay? And that's what the tuning forks do, okay? They bring back in that coherent sound and that coherent tone that reminds the body what that sounds like. And it also alerts the body to say, hey, do you know that you're out of tune? You know, because if you don't sound like this, then you might want to adjust yourself. And the body's like, oh, wow, didn't realize that. Let me adjust, right? Now that I hear this coherent tone, now I can remember what to do. So that's one little way that Biofield tuning works. Okay, so just really settling into the body. I want you to bring all of your awareness right into the body. So a great way to do that is by paying attention to your breath here for a few minutes. And just do a quick little body scan and just notice what's happening for you right now. How's this physical body feeling right now? Where are areas that you're holding tension, maybe having pain? Where are you holding emotions right now, right? Just quickly thinking about your day and noticing what came up for you today. Not to analyze and not to fix, okay? Just to notice. Awareness is enough, okay? So don't feel that pressure to fix and figure out and analyze, okay? Anything that happens in this session today. Noticing it, allowing it, letting it be here, and just let it move through you. Let it finish, okay? Because that's when things get stuck. When they're not allowed to finish, when they're not allowed to be here. So that's our job in this work, is to allow and breathe and finish what comes up. All right, let's officially get started here. I am always going to start the sessions by hooking up your battery, basically. You are a phone and I am plugging in your charger. Or if you want to think more about like a car battery, where it has the black clamp and the red clamp, okay? And for your body, you are the battery, and one of the black clamp is at your feet and the red clamp is at your head. whatever that is, but that's how it works, okay? We got our negative and our positive inputs, and we need to plug you in and get that energy running really nice and smooth and strong. So that's where we start every session. Here we go. So just breathe as we get started here. There's definitely some chaos in the signal here. Everybody's coming in with that busy mind, that busy day. Just keep breathing and feel that tension releasing. Just let that tone start to kind of seep into your body, okay? Just let your body absorb that sound. Let your body start to receive this signal. Wow. Guys, got a lot of resonance going on today. So just letting that reverberate all through your field, letting your field start to get this message. Okay, and I'm starting to send, starting to really send it through the center part of your body here. Call it this central channel. I see it as like this river running through the center of our body. Want to make sure it's running strong and clear without blockages. Not too fast, not too slow. Call it the Goldilocks River. We want it just right. So just continue to breathe, and if your body feels like it needs to move, if you feel like you need to use your voice, please use your voice as we go through this session today. Remember those tones that I mentioned are ha and bo. Ha and bo. So what that sounds like and looks like is you can use it any way it feels. It just helps you to open up your voice and move that energy. So if it feels like something's coming up, whatever feels right, just say ha, 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 ha. You can sing it, you can say it, it can be fast, it can be slow, you can repeat it over and over, you can have one long tone. So mess around with it and see what feels good, okay? See what feels right for the vibration that's trying to move in your body at the moment, okay? Ha, 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 bo, bo, bo. Use them both and see how they feel. See which one feels better. Ha, 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 bo, bo, bo. I don't know, I might be saying that a lot today as we move through this session. So bear with me, you know, get a chuckle with me, get your voice moving, right? Whatever it takes. And don't forget your breath. Take a nice big deep breath here. Okay. I think we got that flowing really nicely. So let's just anchor it in now. Okay, we've got things kind of set where we want them to be. Let's just lock it in. So really grounding into this this current vibration, this current frequency, this current flow. Okay, a lot of people like to ground in by seeing those roots growing out of the bottom of their feet. You're reaching deep down into the earth. You want to get down to that dark, deep, rich soil so you can have that strong foundation. Okay? And if that feels uncomfortable for you, a couple people have told me it does, then, imagine yourself walking barefoot through grass, barefoot in water, barefoot on the sand, something similar where you're going to, what it looks like when you go out and ground. So whatever works for you there. So we're just getting good and strong and stable here, having a great foundation to work from for today. Okay, that's feeling nice. Now we want to go up and connect our positive battery terminal. We call this the sun star. Okay, so at our feet we connect with the earth, at our head we connect with the sun. Those are the energy sources of our world. That's what we can plug into to recharge. Okay, so getting out with your feet on the earth and getting some good sunlight in your eyes, in your face, on your skin is an excellent way to boost your energy, boost your health. No sunglasses, no contact lenses, no eyeglasses. You need that full spectrum light in your eyeballs. Okay, just for a little while. I actually never wear sunglasses anymore. I'll really only wear them if I'm maybe going to be on the water all day where there's going to be a big reflection. Every once in a while in the car if there's some big glare and I need to be able to see to drive. Other than that, I no longer wear sunglasses at all. The sun is so much better for you than what you may have been told, with proper precautions to certain degrees. So we're just balancing, we're getting back to kind of our home position here. We've just plugged in the charger. We're just kind of getting settled here, just kind of locking that in. Keep that breath going. Okay. Now let's start running that energy through your central channel. Okay, this time we're running down from the head and out the feet. So imagine that sunlight pouring in, okay, through the top of your head, flowing down that river, all the way through your body. Beautiful golden liquid light, okay, running through this river. That feels like it is flowing really nicely now. So now we just really want to see that sunlight coming in and filling up your whole field. You know, we have this big, like 6-foot bubble all around us. So just let that sunlight come in through the top of your head, welcoming in the gifts of the sun, that warmth, that strength, that power. Okay? And just feel your whole field glowing, lighting up, shining. Don't be afraid to embrace that today. Take what's being offered to you. This glow, this shine, this warmth. Okay, so we're going to get started on clearing the actual throat chakra. I have all my crystals laid out here on my table to help show me where all the chakras are, so I know where I'm working on the body. I have this beautiful new blue crystal. I'm going to come up and show you guys right quick. It has this beautiful kind of flow and movement to it, and I love to see that. It almost kind of like looks like a throat. And I love to see the vibration and movement in it because we want this throat chakra to be free flowing and open. So we've got a beautiful crystal to support us with that today. If you need a great source for crystals, let me know, comment below, and I'd be happy to share my contact's name. She's amazing. All right, we're coming out to the edge of your field here. Nice deep breath for me. So remember, when I do these sessions, I'm tuning into the group collective, whatever issues feel most prominent. For anyone who will ever tune in, is kind of what I'm tapping into here. So everything I say may not resonate with you, and that's okay. Just let it go, let it flow, and just notice what is coming up for you, right? Obviously, if you'd like a more personalized session, that's what I can do for you. You can book a session with me. The sessions can be done remotely. I can work with anybody around the world. We can tap into your own individual energy and see what exactly is happening for you. Okay, another big deep breath. I feel like the edge of the field holds so much charge. This is our birth and conception. So if you're not familiar, there's like a timeline that runs in your aura, in your biofield here. The edge is your birth, conception, what was happening for your mom when she was pregnant for you, etc. And then up to, you know, the midpoint of your body is the present moment. So we work our way through here, clearing any little bit of distortion that you've collected on your timeline in relation to the throat chakra. Okay, we're starting on the left side of the body, and I will jump over and work on the right side as well. So yeah, I always just feel like there's a lot of charge out here. It's just can be you know, birth is a little chaotic for most people. It's a little bit of a crazy experience. If you know, you know. So there can be a lot held here, right? So what's coming up for me right now in regards to the throat and birth is, did you cry when you first came out? Did you breathe when you first came out, you know? A lot of babies, it takes them a second. So, you know, what happened for you? You may not know, and I'm sure, I would be surprised if most people know unless there was some big story around that your mom has told you. But it doesn't matter if you know, it's just, we're just clearing any energy there where your voice may have been kind of stuck or stifled right from the beginning. And then, of course, we jump right into, you know, babies and children, before they can learn to speak, crying, making sounds. You know, this is our only way of communication, to let people know how we're feeling. And how was that received? Were you told not to cry from, you know, the first day of your life? Shush, baby, don't cry. Well, that's the only way I can let you know how I'm feeling right now, right? So notice, you know, anywhere you may have been shut down from day one. Big boys don't cry. Good girls keep their mouths shut. Children should be seen and not heard. What else can you think of? There's so many of those things that may have gotten drilled into us from the time that we were young. So we just want to soften the edges around all of that, okay? It doesn't have to be true just because somebody said that to you when you were young. Take a moment and ask yourself, what do I really believe? You know, we get to choose. Okay, so take this moment to kind of like have that belief, or excuse me, have that review of your beliefs, right? Any thoughts or beliefs that might be coming up. Give yourself a chance to just say, do I really believe that? And do I want to continue believing that? Because you have a choice and you can make a new one right now. So I'm in the younger childhood years here. You know, obviously tuning into the collective, that age is going to be slightly different for everybody. That doesn't matter, it's okay. But just in our younger childhood years, you know, when I feel like kids are still really connected to their authenticity, their truth, they're clearly not shut down as much yet. And they're still really using their voices authentically. But then this is where the shutdown starts to come in, okay? So what are those first, you know, some of those first experiences like that we may remember, right? Did you have siblings that talked too much? And so that made you want to be quiet. That one's popping in. Or the opposite, right? You were the super talkative, chatty one. And you had siblings or family members or whatever telling you, shut up. Mom, she talks too much. You know, in our first experiences starting to go to class, whether that was daycare or preschool, kindergarten, whatever, you know, where there was a, you know, like official, like discipline starting to be put around our voice, right? Or story time at the library, or going to a movie, right? All these places where there's like this imposed silence. And you may be told to be quiet for the first time in your life, you know? Just notice if any of those memories come up for you. Either way, just breathing along with us and noticing what's present in your body. Some people can feel shifts. Some people can feel vibration. Somebody can feel twitches or tweaks in their body, and other people will feel nothing at all. And either one is perfectly fine and normal. You do not have to feel anything physically in your body for this to work. And if you do feel things, okay, great. It's a nice thing for you to be able to notice. But outside of physical sensations, again, we don't want to try to pull up memories or try to go searching for these things, because that brings in too much of the mental mind. You really want your focus on the body in the present moment, allowing whatever is there. Okay, so what is showing up authentically? What is feeling persistent in your mind or body as far as emotions or memories, okay? Those are the things we want to pay attention to. And again, the only thing you have to do is notice them. Let them finish if they need to finish. Let them be here. Let them express. Okay? So in that moment that you got shut down, what were you trying to express? What did you want to express? Okay? Where were you misunderstood? What do you have left to say? If something comes to you, say it out loud, please. I hope you're in a safe, private space for these sessions. I would encourage you to be, right? You want to be uninterrupted, in a place where you feel safe to express. Okay? But if you have to say it quietly in your mind, say it quietly in your mind. That'll be just as effective, I promise, but we just want it to be expressed and heard, okay? And awareness, that's all we're looking for. No fixing, no judging, no analyzing. Keep that breath moving, keep it moving. I've set an intention to move a little bit faster today as we comb through. That's what we call this, like combing through your tangled hair here. We're combing through the field, so we're almost at half life already. We're hitting the big major spots without getting too dragged down into any one moment. So I feel like midlife is I will say like early 20s. For me, that's midlife, okay? But just apply early 20s for you, however long ago that was. That's a really big time because, we're stepping into our independence, right? We have to start speaking up for ourselves and what we want for our lives, as well as not having our parents around as much anymore to kind of do stuff for us, to make those phone calls or make those decisions, whatever that looks like for you. But it's a big time when you have to start, using your voice, if you haven't been yet. And even if you have, it's still more than it was before, right? So just thinking about that shift into adulthood, what that looked like for you. Notice how that feels when I mention it, okay, without you having to search. What did that transition look like for you? Did it go smooth, or did you have the kind of parents who wanted to hang on and didn't give you enough space for you to use your voice enough, right? They wanted to keep making decisions for you. They wanted to keep telling you what to do. They weren't willing, excuse me, I've got to clear my throat a little bit. So we got something here. Okay, all of this means something. Just letting that clear for a second. Okay, so that might be a big issue for the collective here, is having parents that didn't really hear you, right? Or it took a lot for them to really start trusting your voice, for allowing your independence, allowing your independent voice to come through and be trusted and heard. And also just, I think, just that difficulty in general of having to shift into that adult mindset where you have to speak up for yourself. We have our first bosses, right? We're getting our first jobs, being in the being in the workplace, or being at college by yourself. Even just like going to go get your car fixed by yourself, and you have to talk to the mechanic by yourself for the first time, right? Or even just getting your oil changed, like whatever it is, like going to medical appointments. There's a lot of energy here. Cough with me if you need to cough. This is what moving energy looks like, guys. Trust these physical symptoms that come through. Allow them to be here, okay? Allow it to finish, allow it to move. Whew. I can feel I'm gonna have to cough more before this is over. Just letting you know. So that's a big one for us, guys. And the next stage that's coming in is with relationships. You guys, who told us or taught us how to have healthy communication in relationships? If somebody taught you that, you are lucky. If you had a good role model, if you had a good representation for that, you are lucky, because the majority of us, nobody taught us that. Nobody showed us what healthy communication looked like in a formal sense. So, if you had good role models, like I said, you're lucky. You're blessed. But so many of us had to figure it out on our own. And of course it varies from relationship to relationship based on who you're working with. So everywhere that it has been difficult to communicate our needs, desires, wants in relationships, or feel like you're being heard in relationships, right? That's a big deal as well. You may be expressing your butt off and they ain't listening, right? So anywhere that resonates for you, letting that move through, helping you sit with that. Keep clearing that throat. If yours feels like mine, it's definitely showing up there. Okay, guys, and I'm getting close to this point where that we call the ancestral river. And to me, this is just a point where in our field where literally we connect with our ancestors. To me, that can be past or future generations. But thinking about the past, I feel like most times it's them who shows up and steps in Because, you know, even though it doesn't always feel like it, we are evolving. You know, I feel like we have so many more opportunities available to us for education and for expression, for understanding. There's so many more ways for us to connect to our own authentic voice, you know, opportunities that they didn't have. So I feel like this is a place where a lot of them will step in and just kind of want to share in the healing, and share in this opportunity and support you where you're at right now. They want to cheer you on, to have better than they did, to do better than they did. You know, isn't that what we always want for future generations? So I often feel that support stepping in here. They're like, ooh, I want some of that. But also, like I said, offering that support. And, you know, whatever we heal for ourselves now in this moment, we don't have to pass that on to future generations. So just sending a little energy towards that, right? Receiving the support from our past ancestors and passing on that support to our future generations. As we start to come in closer to the body, a lot of times we can start to address and feel and notice kind of some of the physical symptoms that arise from blocked energy in this area. And that just feels kind of heavy right now. So all of you that are having that TMJ, even tooth problems and sleep apnea, like anything with that, right? Because that's like your throat is collapsing, the airway is collapsing, right? The sore throats, okay? Anybody who had their tonsils out like me, that were just collecting infection there right in the throat. Personally a big one for me. As well as coming into those thyroid issues. One of the most highly diagnosed things in our country these days, including myself on that one. Okay, so just again, let these nourishing frequencies sink into the body, sink into your tissues. Let it come right into your thyroid, right into your tonsils, right into your airway, whatever that is for you, okay? Right into those jaw muscles. Okay, let this just like sink in and nourish, vibrate, shake loose, whatever's needed in there. Just coming in and sweeping through this whole area, and bring in a lot of breath here, guys, so we can move it and flush it out, okay? Oh, let's bring in that ha, 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 ha. Whatever that sounds like for you, let that voice go. Bo, 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 bo. Doesn't have to sound like anything, guys. Just let that voice move. Whew. Even just a good sigh. Keep clearing that throat. Okay, we're gonna start dropping in. So we kind of like scooped up all that stuck stuff, all that stuck energy, right? We scooped it up and now we're dumping it back into the center of the chakra so it can be recycled and reused, okay? So just dropping in here, gathering up all that stuck energy, okay, and returning it to this river so it can be cleansed. Okay, now I'm going to jump over and we are going to go through the right side as well. And just so you know, when we're on the left side, we're more dealing with those things that we did not say, which should have been or we wanted to or whatever and never said. And when we're on the right side here, it's more about this, we are saying them, but then we feel unheard or misunderstood. So just FYI, that's kind of where we're at. It's coming up already on this side. We got more throat clearing to do, obviously. So, be right in front of our camera here today because I got to keep myself lined up with that throat chakra. So just breathe. We're coming back out to that edge of the field, out to that point of birth and conception. All of my breathing sounds, all of my clearing sounds, let that be a guide for you, okay? You really want to let that stuff flow as we're moving through all this here. Notice if you're holding your breath, okay? Notice where you're still holding tension. Really come into your throat here. Notice how your throat feels right now. Is it tight? Is it closed? Does it feel collapsed? Does it feel like you have a bunch of gunk? Do you have a tickle? Is it sore? Or is it clear and open? And then check on your jaw. Is it tight? Is it locked down? Keep that breath moving, okay? It does such a good job at helping us flush energy. Okay, and you see me start to sway a little bit. If your body wants to move, if you want to shift, you don't have to stay on your back. You can, flip around. You can shake things out. Okay, whatever it feels like is necessary here for the energy to move. And I'm getting some of that toddler energy in here. I always feel like the fork kind of rings loud when it agrees with me after something I just said. Yes, that's right. Toddler energy here, right? So think about a toddler like running around, like grabbing onto mommy, like pulling on mommy's pant legs and saying, Mommy, listen to me, look at me. And mom was like running around the house and trying to get her stuff done and trying to cook dinner and trying to answer the phone and try to take care of your other siblings. And with no ill intent towards you, but the toddler can feel unheard, right? They're babbling, they're crying, they're, calling out for attention. And sometimes it's just hard for mom to equally distribute all of her attention, right? But tuning into how that toddler feels in the moment, right? Because that's all that matters. Like, you know, we can rationalize with our adult minds at this time. We can have perspective because now we know what it feels like to be a parent, or, you know, we can at least kind of understand that position to some degree. But that's not what's important. What's important is how the toddler felt in the moment. They felt very ignored, you know, maybe even betrayed in some instances, you know, abandoned, unheard, you know, mostly just unheard. They were seeking attention. They were trying to communicate. And that, you know, the other thing that's going back to for me is all the babies who were left to cry it out. Going back into that child, into that moment, into that space when they are crying out to be heard, for attention, to get their needs met, emotional or physical. And, you know, this is what the parents were taught, you know, that they have to learn how to self-soothe, and, you know, the baby's fine, you need to just let him go. Maybe that was true and maybe it wasn't. Maybe to some degree it worked and maybe it didn't, right? Regardless of all of that, right? That is not the important part. We have to focus on how you felt as the child in the crib in that moment. And where did that get stuck for you, okay? Because you can see, there's my big ding. You can see how something like that would get stuck. Because the baby can't understand, the baby cannot rationalize, and it doesn't matter if we can rationalize it now, because it got stuck then. So how it felt for you then is the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that's important. Okay, so analyzing, rationalizing, it doesn't matter. That you just have to let that emotion of what it felt like to be left there, feeling unheard and uncared for in that moment, whether it was true or not. You didn't know. That's how it felt for you, right? So letting that emotion be present, be finished, and then coming in to offer compassion and support, right? So we can come in and kind of reparent that child in that moment, not necessarily by saying, oh, hey, I want you to know your mom didn't mean it and she, you know, whatever. By saying, what did you need in that moment that you didn't get? That's the only thing that's important to that child. What did they need in that moment that they didn't get? And offer them that now. Offer them that soothing. Offer that attention. Offer that love and compassion. That's all there is to do. Keep breathing through it. And we're sweeping right through here, okay, with the intention of wherever these patterns were carried forward, like so many of those patterns were established, obviously, out there in childhood, And then those patterns carry forward, right? So we're just kind of loosening up that whole line of everywhere that those patterns were carried forward. I think it's kind of interesting. That sound that just came out of my mouth was a shush, right? So where were you told to shush? You were expressing, you were trying to express, and you were told to shush. You're too much, you talk too loud. I don't care what you have to say. I don't want to know what you have to say. Okay, where are those triggers for you? And we're coming up more to that middle life point, so we're so we're moving up into these more adult situations, these adult contexts. And these words could have been spoken by anybody in your life. Who made you feel like it was unsafe to speak your truth? When did that happen for you? Where did that happen for you? It's not about the person that said it. It's about how you felt in that moment. What it meant to you, what your response was, what your emotion was, and what you chose to do with it. What was your response? What was the consequence that was enacted upon your voice because of that moment, because of that statement? There's a lot. There is a lot here. Bosses, teachers, lovers, parents, siblings, children, right? Anybody of authority or non-authority. Somebody on the street that you've never met could have told you to shut up, and maybe nobody ever spoke to you like that before, you know? These things can happen in an instant. So we're just moving along this path everywhere that those patterns have been carried forward, in every way, in every moment that they've affected you, shaped your life, affected your body. We're sweeping through all of that. Keep that breath moving. Keep those sounds going, guys, if it feels necessary. Ha and bo. Clearing the throat, burps, whatever comes up, coughing, and let it all flow out. We're scooping up all these last little bits before we get ready to dump them back into the center. over this dense area of the body. All those physical symptoms, all those physical consequences. There we go. Ready to drop it all in now. Take a big, deep breath. Just allowing for all of that to integrate here. And here's the fun part. Because now that we have taken all of that stuck energy and we've returned it to your body, we're giving it back to you. We collected all of these stuck moments. That it takes a lot of energy for your body to keep all that stuff out there, okay? So that is released. That is returned to you. Now, what do you want to do with all of this energy that has been returned to you, okay? So specifically around the areas that we've been talking about today. We're creating a new pathway for that energy. We're creating a new blueprint for how that energy is going to be used. So think about and start to set some intentions here around how would I like to use my voice? What do I want that to look like moving forward? Do you want to start singing again? Do you want to start giving speeches? It does not have to be that big. Who do you need to say something to? What boundary do you need to set? Okay, where have you not been speaking your truth? Is there a secret that needs to not be a secret anymore? Okay, whatever that looks like for you. This wants to go right through, guys. So you're doing a good job. So we're able to move that through, kind of connect to that energy in, that information into your whole field here. Last little bit of clearing going on there. All right, now we're going to just really start to integrate all this. Sharing this information with your whole body, your whole field. This is what we changed today. This is what we did today. Connecting thy will with divine will, whatever that looks like and means to you. Okay. Okay, we're just going to wrap up your energy field here in a nice, soft, sweet little cocoon. Helping you have healthy boundaries, protected energy. You can start to open your eyes and shake out your body and come back to yourself if that feels good. If you want to keep resting, please keep resting. Please take the next couple days to let this continue to move through. Consider it, kind of like you just got a massage, so you want to drink some extra water, have some extra rest, have a nice bath. A detox bath is even better. Like I said before, go out, walk in the grass or the water or the sand, whatever you have by you. Get some of that wonderful fresh air and sunlight into your eyeballs And take care of yourself, okay? And continue to nurture these parts of you. Continue to let it process and move through. I am always here to help and offer you additional support. Comment below, click on my link to connect with me. And I look forward to continuing to support your journey as we move forward together in the future. Thanks for being here.